All right, folks, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome aboard our full throttle. Welcome aboard brief. Really excited, man. Have a, what, three, four, no, four live briefs scheduled tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, and then I'm adding a kind of a Thursday bonus free brief. One of our strategic partners called Traders Accounting is going to do a brief on Thursday. We'll go through the schedule here in a couple minutes, but just wanted to welcome you aboard. I love this. I love Full Throttle. I do this once a quarter. I open up the doors to what we do here at Top Gun Options. Nobody else does that. I catch grief from, well, when we used to go to conferences before the scandemic scared people. Like, dude, why not a 30-day free trial or this or that or charge people? I'm like, how about you just open the doors to your squadron and you show people around? So this week you're going to get to attend live trade briefs with our current members. That's just, I mean, that's duh. I just don't understand why people do it any other way. Actually, I do understand why people do it other ways. They show you 152 PowerPoint slides about maybe what they did in the past and say, trust me, give me a bunch of money and I'll teach you how to trade. Wrong. Not here, not Top Gun Options. Absolutely transparent. Public personal accounts, that's what a PA means. I'm long Amazon, or actually, let me update that. I am long and short Amazon. So and short. Really don't have to disclose this since we long short Amazon, but I want to MZN. We'll put that in red since I got to sign some Amazon over the weekend. So long and short. Got some long calls and short shares. Long SIL, which we're going to talk about on Wednesday, accelerated retirement, and then some long Robinhood covered calls. Okay, welcome aboard brief. I'm going to give you a quick brief because I can't, what's that joke? How do you know when a date with a fighter pilot is half over? It's that point on a date where he looks loving at you and says, you know what, I'm tired of talking about me. Why don't you talk about me? And clearly that's a joke. I can't stand talking about me, so that's why I do this welcome aboard brief at night after the markets close, because then we're done. We're going to get into the market. We're going to get into trading. We're going to get into training, all full throttle, right? So just tonight, if you don't really want to know who's teaching you how to trade, a fool and their money are soon parted. So about an hour maybe ish tonight, plus or minus, about me, my background, Top Gun Options. We're going to talk about some trade planning, the flight schedule for the week, how the portfolios are doing with the fourth quarter in the rearview mirror. What the hell's an option? Our trading and training methodology. And you see training is in italics for a reason. The world's full of educated derelicts, man. Take a look at our universities and our colleges, right? And our high schools. So glad the pandemic hit because now we got to see what they're teaching in schools, right? And God forbid, as a parent, you have any say or know what they're teaching your kid in a school. Okay. But no education here. Training. Training gives you a skill. Fighter pilots are trained. Doctors are trained. Plumbers are trained. Anybody say, hey, plumbing's easy. Plumbers can do it. Yeah, okay. And then you end up calling one because you did it wrong, right? So I'm going to train you how to trade options, okay? Flight schedule for the week. You're in the welcome aboard brief. Tuesday at 10, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. after I go to yoga and do my downward dog. We'll knock out the primary brief. We have a lot to cover tomorrow, especially about volatility. What the hell's going on in this market? Hint, it hasn't even started to get worse. Tomorrow night, I'm going to give you a sample of the full throttle training you're actually going to get when you become a Top Gun Options member. We do this training once a quarter. We do the marketing for it, and then we do the training, okay? It's 2 nights a week from about 7 to 8:30. We go from what the hell's an option all the way up to advanced tactics. So if you don't know how to spell the word options, like some of my Marine buddies, you're in the right place. So I'll give you a training demo tomorrow night of that training. Wednesday, or maybe Tuesday night, we'll see how I'm feeling. We'll open up the doors to 50 new monthly and annual memberships. We only take 50 each quarter, and that's it. I'm done. We don't constantly market here at Top Gun Options. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. I'd rather have a nice, close, tight-knit group of traders, and we'll talk about how you can get even closer here in the future. And then, as I said, Thursday, I'm going to throw this on free. If you want to come, Full Throttle will be technically over with, but the same link that you got into tonight, tomorrow, and the rest of the week will get you in Thursday at 1 o'clock. Traders Accounting, a buddy of mine, Raven, CPA, will show you how to set up an LLC to trade through and some of the potential tax benefits. It's kind of really cool. It's a great brief. I started scheduling this once a quarter going forward, right around our Full Throttle training, because it makes sense. Every once in a while, people are like, hey, I have questions about this. I'm like, you know what? Need to make that a formal schedule. Quick administrative items. Go to webinar. You're in go to webinar. Camera. If over on your little, where you're looking at me right now, I think at the top there's a little camera icon. So throughout the week, when I'm showing something cool or showing a trade or whatever, just click that little camera icon and it's going to save that image to your desktop. Okay. So I strongly recommend you got un stilo and piece of paper or a trade journal. My journals are over there. I still have my journals from years ago, folks. So write down notes this week, right? Take notes, ask questions. I'm an open book. Replay page. If you can't attend some of the briefs, I get it. No worries. I have your 6 covered. Your 6 o'clock is right behind you. I got your behind covered, and it's on the replay page. We're going to post all the replays for our Full Throttle on this replay page. Let me give you this link. Make sure you bookmark it. If you go to this page right now, you are going to see some historic videos. I will never delete these because this was without a doubt my biggest career call. I've made a bunch of them, and these 3 February. What is that next week? This was February of 2020. I wrote a book about it, shameless plug or not so shameless, called COVID Crash. I predicted the damn COVID crash to the day. And here's the evidence. Warning, markets are set to go watch these briefs. If new bearish trades on China, Apple, you ready for this one? Get long volatility, buy calls, grab the popcorn and your mask. Before this country even knew who a Fauci was, look at what Whiz was telling you to do. Why? Because I was getting all the intel directly from people who shall remain nameless. Very bearish China trade. I leave these on the replay page as a reminder and as evidence. If you want to go back and watch some of these, I strongly recommend it because I was one of the only financial professionals on the face of the planet to nail the COVID crash. January 22nd, Donald Trump was sitting in Davos, Switzerland. Joe Kiernan, throwaway question at the end of the interview. Hey, what's this China bug or China flu? What's going on? Dumb question. Why you even asked me that question? I trust Xi. Xi's a good dude. Great backswing. Been to Mar-a-Lago. What a dumb question. Why it's not coming here? What stupid. I looked into this camera on that morning and said, get out of everything. Buy puts, get long volatility, and we made millionaires. Ray Dalio, the world's largest hedge fund manager, that same day, I think it was, cash is trash. Cash is trash. A month after the market imploded, Ray Dalio was calling for the markets to be closed. Everybody remember that? All the Wall Street people getting destroyed as the, quote, little people like me empowered people to become millionaires. Cash is trash. A month and a half later, he's demanding the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ close. We destroyed Wall Street in 2020. It was an absolute blast. Exactly. It was great, man. And guess what's going to happen? All of that's going to happen again. And that's why you're here at Top Gun Options, because get ready. It's going to be insane, or it's starting to get insane. It hasn't even started yet. But again, 2020, best trading year of my life. It's in the rearview mirror. It's behind us. But I mean, we just absolutely destroyed it. There it is right there. 22 January, accelerated retirement brief. Time to go to cash and get long volatility in S&P 500 puts. When was that? Right there. Market imploded, dead bounce a little bit, rallied a little bit, and then I just showed you all those 4 full throttle. Look at that. Those full throttle briefs were right here, and then what happened? Boom, 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 boom. The whole way down. What did Donald Trump, what did all the smart money tell you to do? Oh, here's the bottom. Stocks are looking good here. This is definitely the bottom. I'd buy here. I'm nibbling here all the way down. Every one of those I told you they were wrong. Do not listen to them. Donald Trump has a tweet. I have it saved. Stocks look good here, or whatever he said. Dow was down 3,000 points the next day. He deleted the tweet. I have a screenshot of it. All the smart money got it wrong. We got it right. Okay. There is no such thing anymore, folks, as the smart money. You're looking at it. You are the smart money. The quote professional traders sucked and currently do suck. Fred Sanford. I'm old enough to remember Fred Sanford. I love the Fred Sanford show. How many times an episode would he grab his chest and say, "It's the big one, Elizabeth. I'm coming." Right? Lamont, you big dummy. This is the big one. This is the big one. This year will be the big one. 12 months ago, I said 12 months from then, 12 months from now, 12 to 24 months will be a bear market and a recession. Joe Biden's sophomore year will have a recession and a bear market, and we're halfway there. The Fed hasn't even started to raise interest rates, folks. So if you're sitting here going, "Hey, man, what looks good at the bottom to buy here?" Nothing. We are going to implode even further, folks. And if that ain't your mindset right now, that's my personal opinion. You can be completely bullish, and I'll take the other side of it. But this year will be the Fred Sanford. Remember, folks, and we'll talk about the Fed tonight, tomorrow, all sorts of stuff, and everything that's going on, raising interest rates. We'll get to that. Whatever. This was 2020. I don't know why I thought I hid these slides. Look at this. 2020, folks. My accelerated retirement portfolio, $967,000, almost $1 million just in our AR portfolio. And that was supposed to be the conservative portfolio. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. We made all the trades that I covered. I didn't take all these, folks. Trust me, I wish I had. 2.139 in a month. That was in a month, folks, at the height of the implosion. Why am I straining my arm to pat myself on the back? To prove to you that trading options, folks, you don't need an up market. Matter of fact, I don't prefer a down market, folks. People are getting hurt. Robin Hooders are getting blown out. People's 401ks are getting destroyed. I don't like that. Now, if you want a friend, buy a dog. Let me go Gordon Gekko. I don't care. If the market's going to implode, I'm going to pound it into the dirt and print money as an options trader. Okay, and that's what you're here to learn. All right. How about, well, Whiz, that's great, 2020. Why are you briefing me on that? Because it's going to happen again. I'm pretty damn good at predicting this stuff, folks. We're already in the beginning of it. This is the beginning of Joe Biden's sophomore year, and we haven't even started. Ukraine, China, Taiwan, Israel, Iran, North Korea. That's just international stuff, let alone raging inflation. Raging inflation. The Fed taking away the punch bowl that they created. Folks, it's going to be awful or great. Last quarter, my most recent results, you can go to the homepage. If you look over here, folks, where it says handouts, I have loaded up all of the portfolios, the TGO portfolios from Q4. Men lie, numbers don't. The solo Amazon portfolio made 32,468. Primary life trade brief, I got kicked in the teeth. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Trading Mara, Bitcoin. This is coming from a dude who said since day one that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. It's nothing. And in a standoff between a central bank and a government and a made up thing, I'm going to go with the government and Federal Reserve. And then I didn't. And I got kicked in the gut. That's what happens when you're stupid. Weekly options, 82 grand. And the accelerated retirement portfolio, again, supposed to be the conservative portfolio, $162. That's in the fourth quarter, folks. Almost $250,000 in profitable trades last quarter. Go over. I'll show you on the homepage. If you can download them, it's over under the materials tab. But just in case you want a visual, I'll show you where they are. I post all my results on my personal account, the training accounts, all of them right here. See, you can click on these to download. You can download all of those portfolios and take a look at them. Okay. Our weekly options credit spreads. Weekly options are everything. It depends on what's going on in the market, right? I am not one of those people that says, in this portfolio, we only do this tactic. That makes no sense to me. If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. We do all sorts of tactics, and I'll teach you that in our weekly options. So good question. Okay, let's go on here. But again, before we get started, everybody sits here, performance portfolio. There it is, right there. I'll point out, and today I took myself to the woodshed in the solo Amazon brief because I got a short Amazon shares as Amazon went up 3% today. I'm going to show you everything, guys. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm a former Navy fighter pilot, man. I will always take respectful truth over artificial harmony. We never have a losing trade. Everything's great. Those people are liars. Have zero time for shit like that. All right, so let's go. No distractions. Silence your electronic nicotine, okay? And let's get airborne. I must really love doing this because my son Jack has a high school hockey game right now, and the Panthers are on. So I love you guys. So if I'm here, you're here. Let's go ahead and get airborne. I promise, by the end of our full throttle time together, which is going to end Thursday afternoon after our traders accounting brief, I'm going to give you up-to-date intelligence briefs. You have got to know what's going on around the globe in the United States before you can get tactical and trade. It ain't rocket surgery, folks, but most of you who are new to Top Gun options don't do this. Okay, I'm going to train you how to employ options, show you what I am targeting for max profit, and how to turn panic into profit, folks. I'm telling you, mark my words, we have not seen panic selling yet. Now, if you look at the S&P 500 or the Dow or the NASDAQ, some of you might be like, are you nuts? That was panic selling. You're nuts because you haven't seen panic selling. I was at ground zero, folks. I was in the Chicago Board of Trade, the Chicago Board Options Exchange, when the VIX hit like 90 at the height of the financial crisis. I've seen panic. This isn't even close. Panic, folks, is when everybody's trying to sell and there ain't no buyers. All these ETFs that people love to be in will get destroyed. It's coming. I guarantee you it's coming. The only way it doesn't happen is if Jerome Powell fails to do his job, which he's been failing, and says, we're done. Let's just keep pumping money into the market, not raise interest rates. But it's too late. Even Joe Biden, in a rare moment of lucid clarity a couple months ago, was like, yeah, maybe all the government spending we've flushed in here has caused some of this inflation. And then you never heard him say it again because somebody hit him in the head and said, yeah, no truth. So, folks, pretty big delta that this is going to happen. I mean, it's not all gloom and doom. I'm going to show you. I got on my whiteboard, folks. I have my bull. You always got to be ready. I've had my bearish list. I've had my bullish list. Right. This is a what's his name? The Oracle of Omaha. Hey, man, when there's blood in the streets, go out into the streets, man. When everybody else is panicking, we're going to be able to walk in and just walk around and pick everything we love up at a discount. It's great. I love this. But you don't love it if you haven't been hedged and you're getting destroyed right now. I get it, but I'm going to help you out with that as well. It's never too late to hedge. Does that make sense? Warren Buffett, thank you. I was having a senior moment. So I'll show you my what I want to use to buy. All right. How many? Let me ask this question first. Let's do a poll rate here because I want to get a temperature of the room. How familiar? Because again, can't stand talking about me. I'd rather not. So how much do we need to do of this? How familiar are you with me and TGO? Current member, somewhat, not at all. And then that'll help me guide where we're going. Not at all, somewhat, current member. I should load up the Jeopardy music at this point to play. 50, half of you voted. The other half of you better not be watching the Panthers game. It's 5-3. I love the Florida Panthers. We're down here, man. They're going to we're going to Stanley Cup. They're number one, man. Exactly, Mike. You got it. Current member of Solo. Awesome. Good. Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of Solo folks that are here checking out our full throttle. All right. We have 7 more seconds to vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 61% of you voted. All right, good. It's about a 50-50. That's really interesting. Good. I love all the current members who come. These folks are currently a member, but they come anyway. That's really cool. All right, let me hide that one, and let's go ahead and get on. So it's about half. So that means I got to talk to some of you. So let's knock that out real quick. Folks, my name's Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Whiz. I earned that call sign flying the Navy FA-18 Hornet for about 15 years. Graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which many of you know is Top Gun. I was a bad guy pilot. I was a good bad pilot, right? You had to be a really, really good pilot in order to get picked to be a bad guy. I was an adversary, so we had jets that were painted like Russian MiGs or SU or whatever, and we'd go out and fly bad guy tactics against good guys to make them better. Did some really, really, really boring combat sorties over Iraq. Always interested in finance, folks. I was raised service above self, Irish Catholic family in South Jersey, South Philadelphia, 6 kids. Raised to love your country back when that was a thing, right? But always interested in finance, right? I grew up on the beach in South Jersey outside of Atlantic City in Margate. Always loved aviation, loved the ocean. That's a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, which means fly jets for the Navy off of ships. Dad drinking his coffee and his coat and tie, getting ready to go to work, on the back of the paper staring me in the face with my Mikey Lice cereal. Stock quotes, man. I'm like, what are these hieroglyphics? And my dad explained that stuff. Hey, if we own shares in McDonald's, you go get a Happy Meal today, buddy. You could make money. Fascinated me. So as I got on active duty, went down to Naval Air Station Key West, Florida as an ensign, 21-year-old kid. I spent like $25 and sent money to the USAA Aggressive Growth Mutual Fund, and then got my first statement, made a little money, and then had a lot of money taken out for management fees and this and that. And I'm like, what? Why am I paying a dude or a lady to pick stocks? My girlfriend, who became my beautiful bride, keeps Ann Taylor in business, and I pay the American Express bill. I bought those 2 stocks and made money off of it. But what I started doing, because trading, I realize, is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win, folks, and somebody's going to get their ass kicked. Which one of those do you want to be? I absolutely know who I want to be, right? So I started applying everything I was learning as a fighter pilot to my trading, having a strategy, implementing tactics that support the strategy, contingency planning, knowing when to get out of a good or bad situation before it got any worse, managing risk. Okay, you just lost me, Whiz. A Navy fighter pilot talking to me about managing risk? Yeah. My wife would say, I love myself too much to go out and die, and there's some truth to that. But no, fighter pilots are probably the most risk-averse people. We want to minimize and eliminate all, you ready for it? Known risks. Flying off the pointy end of a ship over bad guy country is dangerous enough. It's even more dangerous if you're stupid. So we want, as an options trader, as a fighter pilot, I want to minimize and eliminate as much risk as possible. Does that make sense? It should. I'm one of the most risk-averse people on the face of the planet. Okay? So Top Gun options. Why Top Gun options? Great question. Came from a tragedy. Not the January 6th insurrection, which is worse than Pearl Harbor and 9/11 combined, according to President McBumbles and Kamala. One of the most disgraceful things I've seen in our nation recently. Top Gun options came out as a result of a real tragedy. The morning of September 11th, 2001, I was getting ready for my first flight as a pilot for American Airlines. In that closet right there is a uniform in plastic. It's still in plastic. Why? Because my mother-in-law calls from Florida on the East Coast. I was in Fort Worth and woke us up. I'm packing for my first trip since I heard the phone ring, and Susie came in and said, you better look at the TV. A plane hit the World Trade Center. I'm like, whatever. Bad weather, small airplane, I'm packing. The look on her face said, come to the living room. I did. I saw what you guys saw. Clear weather, beautiful day in New York City, big smoking hole. And as I'm going through my mental aviation checklist of how this could have happened, the next plane hit. I immediately knew we were under attack. I ran into the bedroom, grabbed my flight suit. I was flying F-18s for the Navy Reserve out of Strike Fighter Squadron 201, the Hunters, out of Naval Air Station Fort Worth, and I broke the land speed record, man. I had an old 89 Porsche. I did about 130, 135 miles an hour out to the Naval Air Station. Got out there just as they closed it and went to a combat posture. Ran next door. Me and a fellow squadron mate got 2 of our Hornets ready, and we ran next door and briefed with the SPADs, the 457th Fighter Squadron, who was tied into NORAD. They had 4 guys out there. We briefed to get airborne. As we were briefing, the Pentagon got hit. Unbelievable. What's this have to do with Top Gun options? Everything. What happened? When I got hired by American Airlines, I got a nice letter on, color letterhead and signed in ink by the chief pilot. Welcome aboard, Ed. After the attacks, a week or two later, I got a photocopied letter that was off center on the photocopied page that said, "Dear crew member, you're furloughed," which is polite airline speak for "you're fired." They called me back 12 years later, though. A little late. So what did I do? Holy shit, man. I had a wife and a young 8-month-old son. Unemployed, out of a job. Time to get serious, man. So I focused on what had been a hobby up until that point, trading. And I focused, really started applying all I learned as a fighter pilot, and it worked incredibly well, right? Had to get serious. Let's go, man. A little bit of, I think that was the last big pity party I had for myself. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I'm unemployed and I got a mortgage. And I'm like looking at the TV of these people looking at on chain link fences, putting up pictures of their mom or dad or their wife or their husband. I'm like, what is wrong with you, Whiz? Spartan up, dude. Little things can be worse. Get off your ass. And I did. Where'd my ass go to? Well, I got a phone call from one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms in the world, headquartered right here in the Chicago Board of Trade. Everybody should know that intersection. That's Jackson and LaSalle. Love the CBOT, man, the Chicago Board of Trade. James, so glad you say the things you do in these webinars. So many chat rooms are full of woke people, and they try to stay to stay neutral. No thanks. I appreciate the compliment, though. Truth. There's only truth in this world, folks. Only truth. That's it. And there's only one truth. Not to get too deep, but anyway. Hey man, come up to Chicago. I'm a lowly retail trader. Why don't you come up to Chicago and teach us everything you learned as a fighter pilot that you're applying to your trading and leadership? Sure. Multi-billion-dollar trading firm. I was in the corner office. I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build the retail brokerage called Options House. Many of you might have known about that. And I did. I felt like Valentine in Trading Places. I was Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. I was the real Trading Places, folks, right? But what did I find out? I found out early before 2020. I found out in 2008, 2009, the smart money ain't that smart, folks. When I'm one of the smartest guys, if not the smartest guy in a room, it's most likely a room full of idiots. The smart money ain't that smart. So I was the managing director of strategy and was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, kind of the CNBC for options. I know John and Pete Najarian from my time in Chicago. Good dudes, great Americans, but it's like an afterthought. Hey, John, Pete, what's going on in the options? Well, I have some. Okay, thanks. Go to break. What? And then they do that like options action, like Friday at 5:30. I'm a little busy Friday at 5:30. Anyway, we did the Options News Network. I host like 3 or 4 of the shows. My favorite show that I hosted was the Options Cocktail. Speaking of Friday after market close, we'd go to different trader bars Friday after market close and film traders and find out really what's going on in the options market. After you pop a couple in them, we'd start really getting the truth. Anyway, no offense to anybody from Chicago. You can keep it. February, walking from the Union Station to the Board of Trade's like a survival situation. I'm a Navy guy. I'm a beach guy. I moved down here to God's Waiting Room, Boca Raton, 2010, and never looked back. I love going to Chicago and visiting, but that's what you do. You visit. So Top Gun Options, about 13 years in business. We've trained over 10,000 investors of all skill levels. One of our longest members here, Tamara, didn't even know how to spell, didn't even know what the stock market was. Now she's a Jedi master, man. She's literally my stereotypical little old lady in tennis shoes. She is. She's up in Wisconsin. Hopefully she comes down here to Florida. But folks, if you don't know what you're doing, welcome aboard Top Gun Options. We also have 2 investment clubs that I started at the height of the COVID crash. When people are like, dude, what are you doing outside of our live trade briefs? I'm like, this is what I'm doing. well, let's start an investment club. You can do that under the SEC rules, and I did. So we have 2 investment clubs outside of the full throttle training program, which we can talk about some other time. I also wrote 2 books, From Sea Level to Sea Level, about how I went from the front lines to the front office of a Wall Street trading firm. Pretty cool. And then obviously COVID crash. From panic to profit. We destroyed it. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I can give you the link to those books if you want to buy them. I'll sign them for you. And then finally, not finally, we have one more big thing to cover about me, and then we'll talk about markets and everything. Max Afterburner podcast. I actually just dropped whatchamacallit, the next 17. I'm going to blow your mind. Yeah, Chi-Town is more Stanley Cups than Florida for now. One of my very good friends right now is Daniel Carcillo, call sign Car Bomb. And who are the hockey fans in here? Let me give you the link to my most recent podcast episode. This one's going to blow you away. Who's a hockey fan? Any hockey fans in here? Dan, well, that's a good segue into what we're doing. Hey man, I was a Flyers fan, South Jersey and, all that stuff. I loved the Flyers. I was born and raised a Broad Street Rangers fan. Get out, Rangers. Anyway, so Daniel Carcillo, man, there's Car Bomb right there. When he was on the Flyers, I loved him. And then when he goes to another team, you kind of hate the guy. But there's me. There's my fighter jet. That's Orestes Lorenzo, who stole a Cuban MiG-23 and defected to Key West. And that's Cody Chandra, who's a partner at Amber Capital. I'm going to brief you on all this stuff here shortly. But if you're a hockey fan, there's Carbon, man. He's a partnering with us on a project that I'm going to brief you on right now. Listen to the Max Afterburner podcast. I ain't no Joe Rogan, but check this out, man. You ready for this? The Max Afterburner podcast is in the top 3% in the world. Now, if you got that email like I did recently and you were like, yay, and then your immediate second question is how many podcasts are in the world? 2.7 million. So, yay. I am going to yay that. I don't know what I guess I could figure that out. But anyway, give it a listen. All right. I do some charity work with Broward Sheriffs. Unfortunately, I lost a sister to a drunk driver when she was 19 and a freshman at Villanova University. Changed the arc of my life. But I have finally healed from my sister's loss. I know exactly where she is. I saw her. And I feel her every day. It took me decades, and I'm going to tell you how I healed. Anyway, 2020, as I was printing money, I decided to do what? Get rid of it. It would be easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. I started the Top Gun Fighter Foundation to try and minimize and eliminate veteran suicide. Not minimize in a problem way, but lower the number. The hour that we will be sitting here together tonight, a veteran will take her or his life. Approximately 1 per hour. 1 per day is insane. 1 per hour is a disgrace. I'm going to do something about it. So I started the Top Gun Fighter Foundation, folks. And I'll brief you on that. Let me give you a little bit of a brief on that, because if you're new to all this stuff, those are the jets we're going to get for the Top Gun Fighter Foundation. We're going to help raise awareness. We're actually going to change the name on the side of the jets. It's an L-39, so I own, actually one's leased out. Well, technically, I own 2 L-39s. There's 2 of them. They don't look like this. That's the paint scheme that I want. I keep them down in Pompano, just outside of Fort Lauderdale. It's a 2-seat single-engine jet fighter. I take TGO members flying. There's a benefit of becoming a Top Gun Options member. You make it to South Florida, maybe we'll go up in a jet and I'll bend it around and get you sick. It'll be the best sick you've ever had. But let me brief this, then we'll brief Top Gun Fighter Foundation what I'm doing right now, because this Again, this informs my trading. What I'm doing outside of trading informs my trading. If you're just focused on trading, you're doing it wrong. You have to take a holistic approach to being a human being. This is a really old picture, man, but it's one of my most favorite pictures of my family. That's my beautiful bride, obviously. That's my oldest son, Matthew. He's a senior. He's 21, man. He's at Norwich University in Vermont. He's in the Corps of Cadets. I dropped him on his head when he was a kid because he wants to fly for the Marine Corps. Jack, he's at his high school hockey game right now. He's a junior. He wants to fly for the Navy. Go, Jack. Keely is 14. She's going on 30, and she's not allowed to leave the house until I die. And even then, she's not allowed to. So that's me and the family. Real quick before we get into the foundation, I'm going to tell you as we trade together in your full throttle training, I'm going to tell you how I feel as American, as me about stuff. And then, to be honest with you, I'm going to take off my flight suit and I'm going to put on my $10,000 Armani and say, I don't care. I love the movie Wall Street. You want a friend, get a dog. Half the movie Wall Street, Gordon Gekko is quoting who to Bud Fox? Sun Tzu. Hey, Bud, read Sun Tzu, The Art of War. I am the Art of War, dude. Because there are things going on, folks, that are driving me nuts. But I'm going to trade them. Right? So it's funny. I'm not bipolar, and so am I. I'm not bipolar, folks, but sometimes I'll go on a rant about something and go, but anyway, here's what we're going to trade. So you know my heart and what's going on, right? I have a conscience. One of the reasons I left Wall Street was I hated it. Hate's a strong word. I loathed it. Why? I came from a fighter squadron. If we didn't trust you in a fighter squadron, you were gone. First of all, you didn't make it into the squadron. And second of all, if you broke the trust of the squadron, you were gone. Wall Street, they encouraged that type of behavior. Put on golf cleats and climb that ladder to the top. They'd step over their own mother to make a buck. That ain't me. Instead of working for the man, I just could not stand that ethos, man. That ain't me. Okay? All right, before we get into what are options, real quick, this is my biggest focus besides printing money in 2022. Okay? This will blow you away. We'll talk more about this on Wednesday in accelerated retirement because we're going to look at longer dated trades in this sector. You want to know where I'm bullish in 2022? The psychedelic plant and the psychedelic assisted therapy space. It's going to explode. Why? Remember that Hair Club for Men commercial? Like the dude, he's like, I know the Hair Club for Men. I'm not only a member, I'm the president. That guy. I've done it. So in May, does everybody know who Marcus Luttrell is? You should, because he's one of the best Americans on the face in the history of this country. Marcus Luttrell wrote the book Lone Survivor, and obviously the movie Lone Survivor is based on Marcus. In May, Marcus Luttrell, Jared Taylor, one of the founders of Black Rifle Coffee, me, Robert Gallery, who was an All-American at Iowa and then played for the NFL, the Raiders, and the Patriots for 8 years, and JJ, who I can't go deeper into because he's still doing SEAL stuff. We traveled to Mexico because these guys and me have maybe we call it aviator syndrome. They have what's called operator syndrome, PTSD, depression, anxiety. And we did two medicines. One is called ibogaine, and one is called 5-MeO-DMT. I'm not going to take a ton of time. I can't. It's physically impossible. You want to know about my first journey? It is episode 7. Let me give you episode 7. Ready for this? Healed by the light. Again, you have to know who you're trading with. You might listen to this and go, this guy is nuts, and I would never listen to a word he says. And I'd say, God bless you. So in this podcast, in this long-awaited, groundbreaking episode, Whiz details both his ibogaine and 5-MeO-DMT experiences and how they changed his life. Whiz attempts to put words to the indescribable. No shit. And how for the first time in decades he healed from the pain and trauma in his life. Now Whiz serves as a self-proclaimed disciple, putting the ladder down to help other veteran fighter pilots potentially heal in psychedelic-assisted therapy. So there, that was us. Okay, that's Marcus Luttrell, that's JJ, that's JT, and that's Robert Gallery. Short story long, a peace I've never felt before. I've never felt better in my life. I have healed so much trauma. These guys, especially Marcus and JT, went through hell on the medicine. And they tell me they have never felt. I talk to Marcus almost every day. He's actually up in Pensacola for the next 2 weeks. Once a year, he goes to Pensacola for physical therapy. I'm flying my L-39 up there to go take Marcus Luttrell flying. Tons of research being done in Canada, psychedelics, PTSD. So Daniel Carcillo runs WeSana Health, right? He's a Canadian. Guys, I'm not going to drop anchor on this. Here's all I'm getting at is I just have to tell you that this year we are shooting, we're not shooting, we already shot it, a documentary called No Fallen Heroes. This time last week, I was sitting on the rooftop in San Diego with Sledge, who's a TGO member, and Slider. We went and did the medicine in Mexico. I kind of led these guys down here. We brought a filmmaker and a film crew, and it's all recorded. We are shooting a documentary called No Fallen Heroes, and it's going to be released. You ready for this? Right after Maverick. Maverick premieres on May 27th. I think we're shooting for July 4th. No Fallen Heroes is the sequel to Maverick. Pete Mitchell shooting people down, killing people. Goose died. He blames himself. His dad died over Vietnam. His mom died. The dude's full of trauma. The guy's call sign alone, Maverick, would be the type of guy that would do this healing, this entheogenic healing. I'm doing that. So for the next 5 months of my life, man, I'm going full throttle, dedicating when I'm not trading all of my time to this project. No more noble calling than saving lives, not only veteran lives, but everybody's lives, right? We can heal. We plan on healing everybody. All right, one more minute on this, and then let's get into some stuff. Friday night, if you really, really, really want to be creeped out, last Friday night, not this week, the previous Friday when we were in San Diego, Thich Nhat Hanh died. He's a Buddhist monk from Vietnam. I've been reading him for years. Just incredible human being. Why am I bringing this up? Listen to what he had to say. Veterans are the light at the tip of the candle, illuminating the way for the whole nation. If veterans can achieve awareness, transformation, understanding, and peace, they can share with the rest of society the realities of war, and they can teach us how to make peace with ourselves and each other so we never have to use violence to resolve conflicts again. Beautiful. Guess what happened Friday night as we went upstairs to start our journey? He died. Thich Nhat Hanh died as we went up to our ceremony room. That's a picture of me at the house where we did our treatment, overlooking the Pacific. His quote is in our pitch deck. It's called a pitch deck, right? Hey, in order to brief investors, look at this. This is our pitch deck. He's in it. I absolutely believe that they passed the torch. There he is right there. That the torch was passed Friday night. So, again, if this was a complete waste of your time, I apologize. But you have to know the minds. It cracks me up when people go to a webinar like, oh, he kind of sounds like a good trader, and the dude's nuts, or the lady's an idiot, or whatever it is. You have to know who I am, what my motivations are, and what I'm doing, and how that informs my trading. Is that cool? So hopefully that wasn't a complete waste, but this blew me away. They didn't tell me. The producer and the staff found out after we went upstairs. And they're like, no, we had to turn in our cell phones, man. It was a great weekend. I didn't have this. They're like, let him find out Monday. Last Monday, a week ago today, we're driving up through the Mexican border, and I looked at the news, and I saw this. I'm like, oh, my God. first of all, I felt like a cool piece. And then I felt, I got it, man. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? It's just unbelievable. I do actually. That was a nice ask. Thank you for setting me up for that. This didn't work the last time I tried it. Let me try right now. I'm going to try only twice with this because this really blows me away. I want you, everybody, right now, to turn your volume up as much as you can because I'm going to play what we call the sizzle reel for the movie. We made this to show potential investors. Daniel Carcillo, we're getting very close to him being our guy. So I want to show you the sizzle reel for No Fallen Hero. So stand by. Turn your music up or your volume up as much as you can. Okay, let's see if this works. Hang on. Wow. So there you go. Let me close this And close this. X, close. Quit. All right, this is my screen. There we go. Okay, man, I actually tear up every time I watch that, man. Wow. So anyway, that's me, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on a lot this year, outside of my trading, and I'm obviously very, very passionate about that. It's a very cool project, and I'm really, 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 really excited. Okay, shit hot. Let's get airborne now. Let me do this. I have another poll because I want to get some knowledge here, or not some. I want to see where you guys are. What is your current launch? What is your current level of options experience? None, which is fine. Somewhat. I know what a call is and a put is. Familiar. I do some spreads, or I'm a Jedi Master. Do me a favor and vote so I kind of know where to go. Awesome. Wow. Standing ovation. Incredible. Wow. Good. Awesome. Chris. Yeah, kid. No, it doesn't have to be profitable. Just the knowledge, right? I've been there, man. Absolutely. All right. Got about 15 more seconds. None, somewhat, familiar, and Jedi Master. Good. Somewhat. All right. You know what? Then I'm going to let me close that poll. Thanks, guys. I'm very humbled. You should see the team that we have on this. The film, we're going to do like a friends and family and partner launch, like the weekend of Maverick. Maverick comes out Memorial Day weekend. We were going to do May 27th, but we're going to delay. We're going to launch on July 4th weekend. We're going to let Maverick Mania take over the country, and then we're going to fly in right behind it because we're the sequel to Maverick, folks. When fighter pilots step out of the cockpit, guess what, man? They ain't all riding off into the sunset on their motorcycle. So, all right, let me hide that. All right, so we don't have to do this technically. We don't have to. I don't have to go through my little what are call options and stuff like that because just about everybody has some practical knowledge. So, newsflash: stocks will go to zero. They can. Real quick though, the objective is to win the war. I can't stress this enough, man. Losing trades happen. I go play secret squirrel at other places, man, and see what other people are putting out. It's absolutely incredible to me that there. When I was looking at thestreet.com, we were looking at buying thestreet.com, Jim Cramer's thing. He had Lenny Dykstra there. Remember that dude? I remember him growing up because I was a Phillies fan. Lenny Dykstra had like an option service that never had a losing trade. When we looked at all the books, when I did, it's because he never closed a losing trade. He just keeps rolling it and rolling it and rolling it. So technically, the dude never had a losing trade. That's the type of scumbags that are in this space. That's not a nice word, Matthew. He is a soul, and it's not good, folks. So yeah, losing trades happen. Unknown unknowns, right? I wasn't a big Donald Rumsfeld fan, but there are things we know that we know. There are things we know we don't know, and then there are unknown unknowns, man. And those are the things that we have to hedge around. But just make sure you know that losing trades happen, man. My win rate. Oh, you can see it in the handouts, folks. It has the win rate, 60-70% ish, which is good. Perfect example, man. Hey, man, Amazon stock is going to split. I think this was the last Amazon earnings, right? Look at this. It ran up 4 days in the earnings and then imploded, right? So losing trades happen, man. I was right. I'm like, no, it's going to implode. And I got blown out of being right up here. And then it did do that. So losing trades happen. I am not flawless. I am not perfect, right? But I'm going to take a building block approach to teach you how to trade options. Starting I think next Monday night is when we have our first full throttle. My card's over there. But we're going to do like Monday and Wednesday nights. Why? Because Tuesday and Thursday nights, the Panthers play, and we have a suite at the Panthers, and I want to go watch my Panthers go to the Stanley Cup. So, folks, there were people who pulled up to Pensacola Naval Air Station who didn't even know what an airplane was, right? In my class, we had a Learjet pilot. He flew corporate and then wanted to fly jets for the Navy, and a dude who was like from Montana. The first flight in a jet was to flight school. The guy from Montana who never flew got Tomcats or Hornets or whatever it was, and the guy that flew Learjets got Helos, right? So I'm going to take a building block approach. This is a call, this is a put, this is volatility, this is the market, and slowly build it up from there. So if you didn't feel like putting none down for your options knowledge, don't worry about it. I'm going to teach you. Even if you're a Jedi Master and you think you know what you're doing, folks, every time I do this full throttle training once a quarter, what happens? Something new comes out of my mouth, man. It's funny because people that have been here for years are like, dude, you have never said that before, and I learned something on this one. So looking forward to the full throttle training. We will take that building block approach. Real quick, here's how I trade options. Well, how to trade options, the first step is don't. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get wiped out. But it's the same as if you're trading stocks, right? Life's tough. It's even tougher if you're stupid. The easy money, ladies and gentlemen, has been made for now. Last March, or 2 Marches ago, at the bottom of that market, what happened? It was a Thursday morning weekly jobless claims number, 6 million. I'll never forget because we were in a live trade brief. 6 million. I was about to hit enter on more bearish trades when what happened? Jerome Powell flew over the stock market and dropped an electromagnetic pulse of liquidity. Boom. We never looked back. We got bullish. The market would not go down. There was some, little pullbacks every once in a while. It went straight up. That was easy, folks. It's easy to make money in an up market. Now it's going to get a hell of a lot tougher for a lot of people. Not us, I guarantee you. This is a target-rich environment for options traders, okay? Make sure, make sure you paper trade. Most brokerage firms have a paper trading platform, so you don't have to risk real money. Don't ever get airborne. I went to the simulator building, folks. I sat through a lecture on aerodynamics, went to the simulator, and then went flying. Don't go from the book to flying. You're going to crash and die, period. So 8 full throttle sessions is where I'm going to teach you how to trade options. Real quick, FMC. How do you trade options? You got to find a damn trade. You find a trade using our 7-step trade plan, which I'm going to go through briefly tonight. And then tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we're going to practically apply in the market, talking about volatility. Then you got to manage risk. So if you find a trade, you map out your trade with our trade plan. Our trade plan is over here in the handouts as well. TGO Trade Planner. It's in the handout section. A PDF, download it, grab a highlighter, read it. I reread it every once in a while. But you have to manage risk. And I'm going to teach you my SOP. What does SOP stand for? Standard Operating Procedure. You have to come up with your own. This is the most amount I want to risk in a trade. This is when I'll eject out of a trade for minimum loss. This is when I'll take. You have to come up with this stuff, folks. Why? To take the emotion out of trading. Trading, you ready for this, is about 90% emotional. If you could defeat that 90%, you will walk on the rice paper and not leave a trace. You'll be a true Shaolin prince. Look at the top of that slide. Discipline and risk management equal superior execution. So step 3 in how to trade options, stick to the plan. I said I would eject out of this trade if this happened. It happened. I'm going to stay in it. Okay, now you're responsible. Every time I went flying in the F-18 Hornet, they gave me like a phone book sized manual that had all the maintenance that was done on the airplane, status of the fuel, everything. The last page had a space for my name to sign and date and my rank. I signed for the airplane. You sign for your airplane. I do not trade your portfolio. I trade mine. I'm teaching you how to be a single seat fighter pilot trader. You have to fly and fight your own airplane. You are the pilot in command of your jet. Okay? Now, if you're relatively new to options, you should feel like this. You should feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose. When I went through Navy flight training, I was 2 of those fire hoses, man. It was insane, but that's part of it. You should feel like that. Our methodology here at Top Gun Options is simple, folks. It ain't rocket surgery. SOT, strategic, operational, and tactical. Most of the folks in this room, if you're not currently a TGO member, are very, very tactical. You don't know what you're doing for breakfast tomorrow, let alone what you should be buying a year to 2 years out. Very, very tactical traders. That ain't us, man. Every brief that you're going to attend this week, and as a Top Gun Options member, I'm going to give you a strategic brief. What the hell is going on in the world? If you're just sitting here looking at Tesla and not caring about anything in the world, and Vladimir Putin invades Ukraine, and the market goes down 3,000 points, and the VIX goes up, and you're like, wait, what? That's your fault. You have got to know what's going on around the globe, economically, politically, militarily. I remember in like 2013, the Greek debt crisis. How about Brexit? We traded the shit out of Brexit and made 22 grand trading volatility. 11 up and 11 down. It was awesome. Politically, militarily, folks, you have to know this stuff is going on. How do you think the market's going to react when, not if, China takes back Taiwan? You think it's going to go up? After we do a strategic brief, I'm going to treat you like you're an admiral or a general. Sitting there with your cigar. I'm the young lieutenant giving the intel brief, man. You can sit there with your leather jacket on and your boots on. After this strategic brief, we peel back the onion and we go operational. What's going on in America? Economically, politically, folks. What do you mean politically, Whiz? Are you kidding me? I loved Obama. What did I just say? You heard me. I loved Obama and Boehner. Government shutdown. Buy volatility. Oh, he comes to the microphone quivering, crying after smoking his Marlboro. All right, we're going to open up again. We caved. Volatility implodes. I loved gridlock. I love the debt ceiling. You have to know what's going on politically in this country. I love people who come into some of my briefs like, get rid of the politics, dude, and talk about the trades. That's when I throw people out of the room. You're clueless if you are not. This year, there are Nancy Pelosi portfolio trackers. One of the most successful traders on Capitol Hill is Nancy Pelosi. I mean, her husband. You want to ignore politics, you do it at your own peril, not me. After that, folks, is the only time we can start talking about trades. It makes no sense to me that people trade any other way. They wake up, they put on their bunny slippers, drink some coffee, watch some dude on CNBC and go, oh, that sounds good. Boom, they get blown up. Nuts. That's not how I'm going to teach you how to trade options. SOT, strategic, operational, tactical. What's going on right now? Nothing. China, Taiwan, Russia, Ukraine, Iran, nuclear weapon. Israel won't let that happen. North Korea launching 7 bottle rockets year to date. You see the one they launched the other day? It went like 50 times higher than the ISS. Nothing going on around the world, folks. Weakness invites aggression. Mumbles McBiden and Kamala. You think Xi Jinping and Vlad are intimidated? You think the mullahs or cream of some young guy in North Korea? Ooh, the dude can't even string together a coherent sentence. At this point, it's elder abuse. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. Weakness invites aggression. I'm a Ronald Reagan kid, man. In order to have peace, you need to be prepared for war. So, on the international stage is an absolute train wreck coming. Raging inflation. Do you see these idiots? Hey, wages went up. They went up 4%. Inflation's up 8%. Yeah, but wages went up. This is how stupid some people are. Well, the GDP's doing great. Inflation, ladies and gentlemen, is a tax on everybody. I don't care what Psaki says, like, oh, raging inflation is kind of a rich person's problem. Are you high? Rich people are the people driving to work every day, 9 to 5, getting gas, seeing literally every week more and more money come out of their pocket. Just because these people live in the Beltway, folks. Jerome Powell, the Fed chief, Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, and Joe Biden do not go buy their own milk, and they don't fill up their car. They have no idea what's going on in the world, folks. And inflation is also mental. When people believe inflation is raging, it helps inflation rage. This is why I think the Federal Reserve might do a shock half a point or a full point to kick inflation, to put out this fire. Folks, raging inflation does not go away gradually. So if you're sitting here looking at the market going, oh, I'm gonna buy some stocks here, you're nuts. When interest rates are low, stocks will grow. We've been in a near zero interest rate environment for years. Stocks will grow. When interest rates are high, stocks will die. Stocks haven't even started to die yet, I guarantee you. The Fed is going to raise interest rates. We haven't even started raising interest rates, and the market's having a taper tantrum. They're tapering, guys. All that 120 billion a month or whatever that Jerome's been pushing into the market isn't going to be pushed in the market. And as a matter of fact, Jerome has said what? I need to unwind my balance sheet. I remember years ago, folks, I'm old enough to remember a couple years ago when the Fed's balance sheet was like $4 trillion. And it was insane. I'm like, I can't even, is this America? Or are we turning into Russia where we're just going to wake up one day and go, that's at zero? The full faith and credit of the United States government doesn't mean a thing anymore. The Federal Reserve is going to crash land this aircraft. It's already, folks, we're on fire, and the captain's still sitting in front. The captain for the past year has, if you watch my old briefs, I told you a year and a half ago, stop, you got to taper now, raise interest rates. I'm a fighter pilot. I've had to land aboard an aircraft carrier. You have to be 3 steps ahead of the aircraft, folks, with power changes and everything. I was saying this a year ago, that they do this. I was right. We haven't even started talking about taxes, folks. Remember, Build Back Better, and they know, the Democrats know they're going to get wiped out in the midterms, folks. So they're on a kamikaze mission until that happens to get all of this stuff slammed through. Thank God for Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. So, oh, and by the way, let's add the pandemic up there. I live in the free state of Florida. The only time I know that there's stupidity going on in the country is when I hop on an airliner. Unfortunately, I had to fly out to the land of fruits and nuts in California. This is insanity. It's been reduced to a cold. Now we're going to report the cold. I had it a couple weeks ago. Felt like crap for 2 days. No hospital, no ventilator. By the way, I took some ivermectin. Now they're going to delete this video, right? It's going to be reported. So the pandemic, folks, can always start raging again. They need mail-in voting. They need the pandemic to keep going, guys. The masks, you mean the 500 million masks? We're 2 years into the pandemic, and Joe Biden's like, we're going to get an N95 mask to every American. Why don't you just cut out the middleman and send them all to a landfill? And oh, by the way, you got them from China. It's just a disgrace. But anyway, guys, let me ask you this. Let me do a quick poll, and then we'll get into the trade plan real quick. What's your current strategic? No, I'll get to that in a second because it's right next. Here's our trade plan. I got a haul because I know fallen heroes in the middle of this, but we're going to go through this live tomorrow in the brief. Yeah, I had it, folks. In January of 2020, man, I went to the Hard Rock Casino down here in Florida with my son, who is still down here from Norwich, and my other son, Jack. Every Wednesday night, we have a Bible study. We tell our wives and girlfriends. It's our mafia dinner. Police chiefs, attorneys, businessmen, lawyers. Halfway through dinner, I looked at Matthew and Jack. I'm like, we got to get going. I've never, by the time we got to the car, I gave Matthew the keys. I got in the car in the passenger seat, and I don't remember how I got to the bed. 7 to 8 days, I felt like I was dying. Not like anything working overtime, lethargic. I felt death. I was wasting away. This was in January. Recovered. Get a mandatory vaccination. I have natural immunity. I hate crime. Okay. Got it again a couple weeks ago. I'm 2 for 2. Anyway, 7-step trade plan. Print it out. Have it ready for tomorrow for the live trade brief. This is easy, man. I'm an aviator and an options trader. You need a checklist. This, even if people don't join Full Throttle, I usually get occasional emails like, dude, thanks for the trade plan. I love going to watch people speak, all right? Financial You have to trade with a trade plan. Okay, great. Can I have a copy of yours? Next question. Next time you hear in one of these webinars a lady or dude go, you really should be disciplined and have a plan, ask them for a copy of theirs. They won't give you one. Anyway, let's go through this real quick. Step one, what is your strategic mindset? Right? This is the part of the pyramid where we can get tactical. You're either bullish, you think things are going up, bearish, you think things are going down, you think things are going crazy, which is volatile, or you're neutral. Moving sideways. You can have variations of it. Right now, I am incredibly bearish. Every time we were going up last year, I was what? Cautiously bullish. So that's a variation. You ready? Look at that. Look at that climb. Now, let's go look at the current where we are. Here's the poll. Let's see where you guys are. What is your current strategic mindset? Go. Bullish, bearish, volatile, neutral. Go. And I'm playing Jeopardy music in my mind. Do, 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 do. Bullish, bearish, volatile, neutral. Wow, look at these responses. About 10 more seconds. Bullish, bearish, volatile, or neutral. Next 30 days. Yeah, I'm talking tactically. What do you like now? Guys, you ready for this? I wouldn't be bullish for the next year and a half. So there's that, but that's me. Okay, let's close the poll, and I'm going to share it. 3% bullish, 36% bearish, 54% volatile, 7% neutral. Wow. Now, I know you can have different, variations of that and all sorts of stuff, but folks, I love that. So that tells you something. We got people all over the place. The big chunk is, volatile to bearish. So, and I'm right in the middle there with you. Volatile and bearish is exactly where I'd be. There's some people down here that are bullish. Hey, man, this is the bottom, and we're going to head higher. And then there are people that saying nope. So guess what? This is what makes a market. What you just saw is why there's a bid and an ask, right? We just explained the stock market with that little exercise. All right, so strategic mindset. You have to start before you're looking at any trade with what you are, bullish, bearish, volatile, or neutral. Step two, let's just identify the target. The target is the stock, the ETF, or the index that we're going to trade, okay? What's my strategic mindset? What am I targeting? Uncle Whiz's tax tip. Now, Thursday at 1 o'clock, I'm giving you a dude to come in and give you a tax tip. I'm not a tax dude. I don't play one on TV. There may be better tax treatment trading an index over an ETF. I trade SPX. I don't trade SPY. I trade RUT. I don't trade IWM. And ETFs settle in what? Shares, which could be bad. Indices settle in cash. If none of that makes any sense to you, we'll cover that in our full throttle training. Step three, probably the most important part of the trade plan, your commit criteria. Very simply, folks, why are you committing capital to this trade? Why are you in it? Right? 3 to 5 sentences. There is something to be said about picking up a pen and writing it down. I am bullish on whatever. I call it the cocktail party pitch, right? You're at a cocktail party. Give me 3 to 5 sentences on why you're in a trade, why you're committing capital to this trade. If you're in sales, it's called what? An elevator pitch. 30th floor to the ground floor. Kid, you got 1 minute to convince me. At the end of your commit criteria, if you read it to me, I should look at you and go, oh my God, I'm an idiot if I'm not getting in this trade. It has to be laser tight. This is the problem. Whiz, I'm in this trade for this, this, and this. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome. Anytime those 3 to 5 sentences change, one of the sentences changes, get out. That's the problem. The reason people get into a trade, if it changes, they sit here and go, it's Apple. Apple doesn't hate me. Apple doesn't know who you are and would steamroll over your house. Write this down. Write your trade plan. Write why you got into a trade. So 2 weeks from now, if the trade's moving against you, you look at your own damn handwriting and go, ooh, yeah, that sentence just got blown out of the water. But I'm going to stay in the trade. That might be your answer. You're the pilot in command. Whenever I get into a trade in a full throttle live trade brief, I tell you my commit criteria. I don't tell you yours. I don't know you, right? I don't give individual investment advice, right? That's what a registered investment advisor does. I'm talking one to many, baby. Here's why I'm getting into a trade. You have to come up with commit criteria. Step 4, we got our strategic mindset. We identified our target. We have our commit criteria. What's the tactic? Only stupid people use the term options strategy. That means they don't know what they're doing and run away from those people. A strategy, ladies and gentlemen, is saving for college, managing risk, short-term income generation, buying a boat in 6 months. A tactic is an iron condor, buying calls, buying puts, whatever. Do not call these strategies. They are tactics. How do you pick the tactic, Whiz? Well, look up in your trade plan. What's your strategic mindset and your commit criteria? Folks, if you have a basic understanding of this is a call, this is a put, I'm going to teach you all the damn tactics you need to know. In the options pocket checklist that you got for registering, the OPCL, I think there's like 32 tactics in there. I think I've used 6 in my entire life. That's all I need, man. The F-18 Hornet, I think, could carry like 82 different weapons. I think I carried about 6. We'd have to go to the simulator to go like launch a harpoon, like an anti-ship missile. I'm like, I don't even know what one of those looks like. I know how to shoot it though. So step 4 is just the trade. Bull put spread, iron condor, diagonal. Step 5, how are we going to employ the trade? I'm going to sell this leg. I'm going to buy this leg. This is the price. It's just how we lay the trade on, right? Step 5, it's the individual setup, okay? Tactical employment, if I'm just buying calls, it's pretty easy. I'm buying calls, okay? Step 6, however, is mid-course guidance. I never dropped a bomb in anger and closed my eyes and said, man, I hope that hits bad guys. Do you think we do that? Do you place a trade and go, man, I hope that trade makes money? Hope ain't a strategy, man. So before we even get into the trade, we need to know how we're going to manage the trade, if it goes for us or against us. You need to ask what if before you get in the trade. What if this happens? What if that happens? What am I going to do? So when, not if, something goes to hell in a handbasket, you're like, oh, I already talked about what I was going to do, and I'm doing it. Instead of freaking the hell out when something goes wrong. Okay? Does that make sense? Mid-course guidance, folks. The F-18 Hornet, that manual, when it came off the assembly line, right? The first F-18 came off the assembly line. The emergency procedures section of the manual was probably 5 pages. The engineers were like, all right, well, these are the things that could go wrong that we know about. When I stopped flying the Hornet, I think the emergency procedures section was about 150 pages. Why? It's written in blood. Not to be macabre, that's the truth. It's written in blood. Okay, so I'm going to teach you my trading SOP, and then you're going to come up with your own. This is when I'm going to get out. This is when I'm going to boom, 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 boom. It takes the emotion out of it. Okay, step 7, our Colin Powell step, man. Colin. Exit. When George Bush the first went to Colin Powell and said, General, get a plan together to boot Iraq out of Kuwait. Okay? Yes, sir. George Bush started to leave. Hold on, Mr. President. What's up, General? When are we leaving? What does victory look like? This young junior officer from Vietnam wasn't going to get fooled again. He said, what is victory? When am I? We haven't even gone in, and I want to know when we're getting out. Folks, if you hit fire on a trade and you don't know when you're getting out of it, you're an idiot. And I mean that. with all offense. How can you do that? That's when things go wrong. Oh, geez, I'll talk to people when we used to be on the road. Hey, I'm in this trade, man, on Apple. It's making good money. When are you getting out of it? It's making good money, I told you. That's not what I asked you. When are you getting out of it? I'm in this trade. It's losing money, Whiz. When are you getting out of it? Well, I'm waiting for it to come back. How do you know it's going to come back? All of that discussion should not be going on. Why? Because you have your damn trade plan. Discipline, risk management equals superior execution, folks. The main reason people suck at trading is they don't have a plan. I just gave you mine, and this week for free on me, I'm going to show you how I execute it. Now, let's wrap up real quick with this. What else do you have to do to be a successful options trader? You got to watch Billions. Unfortunately, it sucks now. Watch Billions 1. Who was it? Hemo or one of our members today said Billions when it was Axe was the original. Now the sequel's out. Part 2 always sucks. Part 2 does suck. I'm not a Michael Prince guy yet. The old Billions, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know how Wall Street operates, it's perfect. Couldn't stand the people on Wall Street, man. Most of them. There were some good people. There always is. Most of them, watch Billions. If you're sitting there going, it's Hollywood, you're wrong. That's all real. That's exactly how it works. Okay? What else do you have to do? Here's some good stuff. I'm a reader. I've thrown out almost every one of the books that used to be on that bookshelf. When? At the height of the scandemic. Why? Because of Jerome Powell. This is not your father's stock market anymore. I threw out all of my books. I have about 7 left, 8. It's all bullshit. Jerome Powell has destroyed capitalism and the Fed and quantitative easing and this tape. It's over with, folks. These still will stand the test of time. When genius failed, take a picture of this page so you know these are really good books to read on the markets to give you a mindset. Yeah, Wags is awesome. When genius failed, the rise and fall of long-term capital management, you will see how a group of dudes who are bored and just trying to make more money can literally destroy the entire stock market. Liar's Poker by Michael Lewis is phenomenal about the early days of Wall Street. Liar's Poker is fantastic. And The Myth of the Rational Market. That's a good one. You ready for some further required reading? The Power of Now. A New Earth. The Four Agreements. Folks, you need... we'll do this offline. The most recent podcast that just dropped today, I start my debrief about my second journey. I'm going to do 2 more podcasts debriefing this most recent journey because there's a lot to unpack. I'm still unpacking. I'll be unpacking it for a long time. My first journey 8 months ago, man, unbelievable. Here's what I'm getting at. If you look at your portfolio tomorrow and it's making a lot of money and you're really excited, you're doing it wrong. If you look at your portfolio tomorrow and you're getting destroyed and you're miserable, you're doing it wrong. Me, I've gotten to the point after 32, with over 3 decades of doing this and a life-changing journey, I'm okay. I'm printing money. I know that's not going to last. I'm getting destroyed. I know that's not going to last. I'm okay. Write this down or remember this as an options trader. This got me through being a fighter pilot for 15 years. Maintain an even stream. If you are freaked out about your trading, your positions are too big, guys. I get it. It's money. If you have a roof over your head, a loving spouse or girlfriend or significant other, or just you and you're happy with you or whatever, and you got running water, you got electricity, and you even have a damn portfolio, you're doing better than 98% of the people on this planet. When I drove from San Diego to the house in Rosarita Beach through Tijuana, going from San Diego to Tijuana is insane. It can always be worse, folks. So do me a favor. Start working on you. I wake up every morning, man, go brush my teeth, wash my face, and then I go meditate for 20 minutes. Then I go to hot yoga and get my ass kicked. Then I come home, get my coffee, my Wall Street Journal, turn on CBC, Fox Business. I start getting my mind right. 3 o'clock every afternoon, 20-minute meditation, man. And it has changed my life. You got it, man. Non-attachment is a beautiful place to be. CC, I will go back a slide. This is the first slide, yeah. Take a little picture. When Genius Failed, Liar's Poker, and The Myth of the Rational Market. These two I read before I went to my firm in Chicago. I read them as I was like my first couple weeks there. They gave it to me. They're like, you got to read these. You're coming from the military, dude. This is a different world. I'm like, okay, sure, it is. This is a good one too. I started reading. I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. Watch his YouTube videos or podcasts. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a really, 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 really smart dude. Get your spirit right to get your mind right. You got it, Mark. If you are not centered, if you are trading from emotion, I'm telling you, folks, you are going to get destroyed. This time last week during the morning, we crossed the border. I finally got my cell phone back. I was not super happy to get it back, although I wanted to talk to my bride, my kids, because it was just an insane. My first journey was an awakening. This was a reckoning. And I did want to do it, but I did it. I looked at my portfolio. Amazon, when I left, was like at $3,200 or whatever. It was at $2,700. The market was down. The Dow was down 900 points last Monday. You know what I did? I laughed. I'm like, that's perfect. I'm okay. I got to see God. I got to experience my father, my sister. I got to watch 4 veterans heal. I was in a house with the Holy Spirit. I looked at my portfolio. I'm like, I am blessed. Please, please, please do not make this your life. Please have an outlet. William, the Bible, absolutely, man. The Bible is the original source from which all of these things flow. It goes without saying, William, but I should have said it. So good catch. I appreciate the mutual support. I'm reading a book that's a subset of the Bible called, A Course in Miracles, which has just also helped change my life. But yeah, the Bible, if you want to go to the source, baby, it doesn't get any more source than that. And like I said, man, do something. If you're sitting here I don't sit here, folks, I sit here for a live trade brief and I leave. Go to the beach, go flying. I live my life, man. I don't live to trade, man. That just ain't me. I don't day trade. If you're a day trader and you want to sit here and stare at this screen for 8 hours, God bless you, man. I wish you the best. Get up and go for a walk, man. You got to get your mind right. I'm telling you, after 3 decades of doing this, it is 90% mental. And if this ain't clear, you're going to suck. Period. This last year with my journey, and then started this year with this journey, with the No Fallen Heroes thing, man. I've never had more clarity of thought. Hell, I've lost 15 pounds. I mean, I just feel fantastic. And surprisingly, except for Amazon, my trading's doing extremely well. Look at the results. Look for yourself. Men lie, numbers don't. You can look at all of those trades. Required thinking, and then we'll wrap it up for the night because holy shit, the Panthers are winning 8-4. That's like a football score. Because I went way too long. An hour and a half is too long, and I apologize. Required thinking. Meditate. We already talked about that. Did anyone die? What does that mean? When I was up in Chicago helping run this multi-billion-dollar firm, people would bust into my office like, Whiz, oh my God, this, and this happened. I'm like, oh my God, did anybody die? What? No. Then calm down. You have a losing trade, me getting my ass kicked recently with Amazon. I got buddies who don't even know they're dead. Guys that flew into the water behind the ship at night. They don't even know they're dead right now. Get your mind right. Get some perspective. If you get to go home at night and kiss your wife or your husband or your significant other, even though you lost on a trade, you are blessed. You are blessed. Give thanks. It could always be worse. So, all right. Oh, I love the required thinking part. It's the truth, man. This is required thinking. If that was required reading, uh, the required thinking part. It is. Somebody just wrote life is 90% mental. It is. The more you can put your mind at ease, right? When you pray, you speak to God. When I meditate, God speaks to me. When I can silence my mind and just sit here and breathe and feel the presence of God, man, some great, incredible things come to me. I love it. I absolutely love it. So if you're somewhat familiar with Top Gun options, you're like, who the hell is this dude with the cross on his neck and onyx beads on his wrist? It's me, man. I've always been in here, but a bunch of layers have covered me up over the years, and I am a lean, mean fighting machine. I could not be more fired up. Goose. Whiz is my mentor, my wingman, and my brother. At TGO, we have new folks, teachers, and market experts alike all here, side by side. You get him and you get us. Join us, learn to trade the market, get better, smarter, and faster. I promise you'll improve your trading and overall risk management. Goose, that's awesome, man. Wow. I'm going to grab that. Goose is a fantastic American. He's an even better trader. No, you can't be a better trader than American. That doesn't make any sense. But that's what Goose wrote right there, man. All right, guys, I appreciate your indulgence. I had to take some time out to talk about No Fallen Heroes because it's my passion. 2022 is going to be one of the best years of my life. Maverick's coming out. No Fallen Heroes is coming out. We are going to move to get psychedelics, entheogen, plant medicine approved for veteran use. If you got a guy like, not that I'm anybody special, a former Navy fighter pilot, and you got Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor, you got Jared Taylor, JT, you got some other dudes who are kind of under the radar right now, but are national names that are going to be coming out of the closet too, that they've done the medicine. Don't you think we should do something about it? When you got Democrats and Republicans who can't even agree that the sky is blue agreeing on something, I think it's a noble cause. So this year, I'm going to trade the hell out of the markets. We got more pain coming, but if you decide after these next couple free live trade briefs to join up with me and become a TGO member, I guarantee, first of all, it's going to be an interesting ride. You can come down here to the No Fallen Heroes premiere, and I'm putting this out here to the universe. I told you one of my best friends, Ferg, was the technical advisor to Maverick. He worked with Tom and Jerry Bruckheimer for 14 months. He's got their names in his cell phone. He's like, dude, I guarantee you, Jerry and Tom come to me and want to get intro to you because I went to him. I'm like, dude, could you maybe get Paramount? Or he's like, I showed him the sizzle reel and I briefed him on our project. He's like, blown away. He's like, I think we might even get Paramount on board for this. So I am completely looking forward to this year and everything that we're going to do, man. You guys, if you decide to get on board, buckle up, man. It is going to be an interesting ride in 2022. This is our first full throttle, of the year. And get on board now, like I said. Thank you for asking, but no, I don't want to give the link out now. I'd like you to kind of see the rest of the briefs. If you're ready to get on board because of that brief, that's awesome. Maybe I don't have to open up the doors going forward because this takes a lot out of me, man. Because we got like a couple thousand or whatever registered. So I'm an instructor. I hate looking in the chat box and seeing a question go by and blowing it off. So full throttle week takes a lot out of me. But no, I'm not going to put out the link tonight. Maybe tomorrow night we'll open up the doors to the 50 new members. But I like your moxie. Here's the hint: if you tried to be one of the 50 last time and you didn't get in, it's probably the same link to sign up. So, all right, guys, looking forward to seeing in the cup. You got it, SP Joseph. You're welcome. God bless you too, Mark. Buck, Whiz, buy calls on MindMed stock. Buck, I will see you in accelerated retirement. The long answer is the same as the short answer. Buy MindMed with both hands, both of them. Buy. Buy Cybin, buy Atai, buy Compass, buy Field Trip Health. The psychedelic space is going to explode this year. 2021 was the year psychedelics conquered capitalism, or is it the other way around? We will talk about this in accelerated retirement. Absolutely unbelievable what's going. We are going axe capital on the psychedelic space. I am getting into it. I'm making a damn documentary. I didn't brief you on what's coming after the documentary, and then we're done for the night. What's after the documentary? Oh, I closed the pitch deck. We are doing a TV series. Anybody hear of the TV show Intervention? Intervention's been on for 11 seasons, 333 episodes, a couple Emmys. No fallen heroes, extraction. What do we do in the military? We go and we used to, under previous presidents, never leave a man behind. But if you're Joe Biden, you leave entire Americans behind. You leave hundreds of Americans behind, enemy lines. The military I used to serve, our motto was no man left behind, but yeah, whatever. We're going to have no fallen heroes extraction. We're already getting ready to shoot some of those episodes because as the documentary comes out, we want the TV, we need to have already had some of these out. So stand by. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. I will have this up on the replay page, which is right there. I'm gonna. Well, the Panthers are over 8-4, and I'll put this up on the replay page in a little bit. Okay. Have a great rest of your night, folks. Thanks for coming tonight. Tell your friends and family, man, if they want to come and learn how to trade options or see what we do here at Top Gun. I'd love to have them. Have a great rest of your night. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless and namaste. I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Good night.